Hello everyone, it's Imran here. Welcome back to another video. So, I'm going to be reacting to the newest Thomas and Friends audio story that Kiefer Adams uploaded to his channel yesterday that I wasn't able to react to because I ran out of time to. And this one is called The Best Twins of Sodor. Yes, you read that correctly, The Best Twins of Sodor. Bill and Ben and Don and Douglas are going to be working with each other together for the first time in the TVS canon in Kiefer's audio series. So yeah, this one's definitely going to be enjoyable to watch. It is right here. Now, what was the last audio story by Kiefer that I reacted to? What was that last audio story? Is it somewhere down here? Where was it? Yeah, sorry about that, Kiefer. I don't normally forget what audio story I last audio story I react to from you, but yeah, I've actually forgotten. I can't actually remember the last audio story by Kiefer I reacted to last week. If I do remember, then I'll have it up in the top right corner of your screen, but that is uncharacteristic for me. Apologies for that, Kiefer, for forgetting the last audio story that you uploaded last week, but guess here's what it is. So yeah, but anyway, back to the story. The Best Twins of Sodor. Really looking for, this was actually teased in the lineup when Kiefer announced his Series 4 audio story lineup, and yeah, I just can't wait. Just can't wait to react to it. Be interested to see, to see what's going to happen in the story. And yeah, really enjoyed Kiefer's audio stories as always. So let's see what this one's all about. Links to the video I'm reacting to in the description down below as always. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into this.
The Best Twins of Sodor, written and told by Kiefer Adams. The Fat Controller is proud of all of his engines, no matter if they're tank engines, tender engines, diesels, or any other. He has two sets of twins on his railway. One set being Bill and Ben, the mischievous saddle tank twins who had been working at the China clay pits. But after Boko had left, they had since gone to work at the Central Island quarry with Mavis. Bill and Ben used to be quite cheeky to the other engines, and sometimes got into trouble. The other set of twins were Donald and Douglas. The Scottish twins were considered to be practical, peppery, and proud. They sometimes handled good...
Reference to the Series 6 episode Twin Trouble right there, you put, Kiefer. Wasn't expecting that, and from the looks of it, this looks like it's either set during Series 6 or Series 7, this audio story. Very interesting.
Goods trains and passengers on Edward's branch line, and were always willing to help others in need. It came as a surprise to many of the Fat Controller's engines that until recently, Bill, Ben, Donald and Douglas had never worked together. One glorious morning, Donald and Douglas were called to the docks by the Fat Controller. Oliver was nearby, having just received his orders for the day. Donald and Douglas, being the Fat Controller, I have an important assignment for you two. Mavis has been taken ill. She was meant to help Bill and Ben with an important shipment of stone, which needs to be brought back here to the docks before sundown. Can I rely on you two to help Bill and Ben with the job? "Och, we'll do our best, sir," said Donald. "Excellent," smiled the Fat Controller.
Is that why Oliver's annoyed because he knows what Bill and Ben can do?
He turned and went to make an inspection of the dockside. "You two are going to be in for a great time," grumbled Oliver. "Why'd you say that?" asked Douglas. "Some engines don't know how to handle Bill and Ben," said Oliver. "Duck used to call them the bees, because they were terrors when they start buzzing around." "I'm sure we'll have no problem," said Douglas confidently. "Come on, Donny, let's show those two who the best twins of Sodor are." He hurried away. A rather nervous Donald followed behind.
Oliver may have a point,
that brief time we worked with them while you lot were at the big city, Donald, Douglas, Bill and Ben have not really worked together much, Oliver told Duck and Thomas that afternoon. I just sense it in the back of my buffers that Bill and Ben are just going to cause trouble right from the get-go. "I wish Boko was here," sighed Duck. Aside from Edward, he was the only one who could keep them in order.
Yep,
I agree with that.
I agree with that as well, Duck. Obviously, in Kiefer's series, he gave a reason to why, Boko didn't appear in series 5 onwards. Just search it up in series 1 of his audio stories, and you'll figure that out.
Said Thomas. The twins are absolute terrors. Give them an inch, and they'll trick you with a mile. Oliver sighed. I just hope Donald and Douglas will be all right, he said. If you ask me, I wouldn't trust Bill and Ben with Toad, let alone working together with another set of twins. And Oliver puffed away. Thomas and Duck exchanged nervous looks. They knew that Donald and Douglas were quite fierce when it came to handling the wrong sort of engine.
Yeah,
By the time Donald and Douglas reached the quarry, Bill and Ben had completed at least a quarter of the stone special. When they saw the Scottish twins, they chuckled with delight. At first, everything went well, and with Donald and Douglas's help, the order was starting to get longer. But before long, Bill and Ben's tricks came out to play.
Yep, there they are.
Donald was waiting for another load of stone at the chute. Bill puffed forwards and yelled, "Boo!" Donald was so startled he backed into his trucks and his tender was covered in quarry dust.
Ooh.
"Didn't mean to scare you, or did I?" cried Bill, and he scampered off. Meanwhile, Ben had...
Donald, Cole, poor Donald. Cole's supposed to go in, it's supposed to go in your tender right there, not quarry rocks. That wasn't pretty right there. I can just picture it in my head. Donald's tender getting covered in quarry dust, as Kiefer said right there.
It was covered in quarry dust. "Didn't mean to scare you, or did I?" cried Bill, and he scampered off. Meanwhile, Ben had deliberately shunted his trucks over a cross-section, blocking Douglas from leaving his siding. "Remove those trucks at once!"
That's Bill, Ben and Fergus reference right there.
"Say the magic word!" snorted Ben. He then just grinned and puffed away. Douglas seethed with rage. But even when Ben was eventually ordered back by the quarry manager to move his trucks, it seemed that there was no end to Bill and Ben's juvenile tricks. Eventually, Douglas could stand it no longer. The final straw came when he was about to collect more trucks for the train, which was now almost complete, when Bill shot across the line in front of him, making rude remarks about Scotland as he did.
"Oh shit!"
roared Douglas. "That does it!"
You insult Scotland. You say insults about Scotland to Donald and Douglas. They're really going to. That's really going to tip them over the edge.
He started backing down the quarry tender first, hoping to spot Ben in a siding and give him a fierce bump. But what Douglas hadn't accounted for was the siding that led into the very pit that Bill had fallen into not too long ago.
Is this entering Series 6?
Shouted Donald, but it was too late. With a splintering crash, Douglas hit the buffers and fell down the pit tender first. He was more surprised than hurt. Donald was just about to hurry to his brother's rescue when suddenly Bill and Ben shot forward. "Dinna dare cause more trouble," Donald roared. But then he realised that was not what the twins were doing at all. Bill's driver fastened a chain between Bill and Douglas, and the next thing Donald realised, Bill and Ben were pulling with all their might and heaving Douglas back on the rails. Apart from a few dents on his tender, Douglas was unhurt. Once he had been checked over, both sets of twins...
What did he say about his tender?
And the next thing Donald was pulling with all their might and heaving Douglas back on the rails. Apart from a few dents on his tender, Douglas was unhurt. Once he had been checked over, both sets of twins rushed to complete the Order of Stone. Bill and Ben were so apologetic for their behaviour that they even offered to take the train themselves to the docks, while Donald and Douglas headed home. They made it to the docks with the delivery just in time. Later that day, Donald and Douglas were resting at Marin Station when Bill and Ben arrived. "Thank you for helping me," said Douglas. I'm
Yep.
sorry we lost our temper towards you. We're the ones who should be sorry, said Bill. It just felt weird working with you, said Ben. We weren't really exactly talkative when Thomas and the others went to the big city. That's quite understandable, said Donald. But it's nice to know that we worked hard as twins should. Together?
Yep.
Bill and Ben chorused. Soon it was time for them all to go home. Bill and Ben headed back to the quarry, where they hoped Mavis would be back from being repaired. Donald and Douglas returned to the sanctuary of Edward's branch line, and secretly both twins wondered if they would ever work with each other again.
But that didn't happen in the TVS, unfortunately. Oh wow! It was that crash scene was a bit like Buffer Bother and Twin Trouble combined right there. Excuse me, but I think making rude remarks about Scotland, you do not want to insult Scotland to Donald and Douglas right there, because if you do, you end up regretting it right there. But I don't think Douglas should have really responded in the way he did. But at the same time, Bill and Ben should not have made rude remarks about Scotland right there, and it's clear that their teasing just went a little bit too far right there. But I'm guessing this obviously takes place after the events of Buffer Bother, because obviously the pit that that Bill fell through, that pit that Bill fell through in Buffer Bother. So this obviously is a story that's set just before that. It is so, well, after Buffer Bother it is, and 100% definitely after Twin Trouble, as basically Douglas mirrored his twins crash right there when Donald went off the rails in Twin Trouble. So this definitely looks like was written as a Series 6, potential Series 6 story. It was, or Series 6 episode, I should say. But yeah, like I said, Kiefer continues to impress me with the lore he adds to the TBS canon of Thomas right there. Such a shame we didn't get to see a Bill, Ben, Donald, and Douglas interacting episode in the TBS. But like I always say, we have writers like Kiefer that can make this in the Thomas fandom, that can make this a reality, and I'm all for that. I am. But nevertheless, it's a good audio story. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I did. You do want to check out my previous what is it? Thomas reactions whenever it's an audio story or Trains adaptation, then I have that. Make sure to have a playlist in the top right corner of your screen right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button for me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this Thomas audio story I reacted to. Also, let me know in the comments down below what other videos you want me to react to next. Stay tuned for the next video I upload on this channel, because that video will also be a Thomas related video. It will. Share this video, subscribe if you're new here, ring that bell to get notified when I upload new videos, or when I post in the community tab, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!